Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, I wanted to talk on Ubisoft games because if you guys know about me and Ubisoft games, you know I don't really be getting along with Ubisoft games. You know, I hadn't had a lot of issues with their games throughout the years, and it seems like more so as I started playing their games on PC, that's when I started running into issues, you know, having it where I remember when I tried to play Rainbow Six Siege, I couldn't even find a lobby, and I'm like, that's literally your guys' biggest game, how can I not find a lobby? To the Division 2 crashing on me, and I mean, like, not even just one time, multiple times. I've had that game crash on me so many different times, and I'm like, I never experienced this on Xbox. So I'm confused because I'm like, I've never even experienced that on PlayStation. So I'm confused because I'm like, how is it that this game works perfectly fine on Xbox, PlayStation, but the platform that you literally developed this game on is not working? That don't make no sense to me, bruh. But anyways, from that to playing Avatar, their new one of their last new games, Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, playing that on PC and having it where it was like the game, my avatar couldn't really jump, like the jump was glitched out. I couldn't choose a certain face for my avatar, but I remember when I played it on Xbox, I could choose the face, jump properly, all this other stuff, and it was even buggy on Xbox, but I'm like, how is it that you guys, and people were trying to compare this game to Red Dead Redemption 2, and I'm like, look, at least with, you know, the thing is this, I might have had my issues with Rockstar games too, but I feel like it's not as bad, with, Ubisoft, because I'm like, nah, bruh, at least with Rockstar, they make sure their games are working. You guys, on the other hand, your games be, messing up way too much. It ain't like it's just one game, it's multiple games. That's something where I'm like, nah, bruh, that is some wild stuff. But anyways, so no, lately, or recently, I played their new pirate game, Skull and Bones. And I was having fun. You know, I thought this was a good game. I'm like, okay, you know, it's like I saw it in stores. They had one copy left. I was like, you know what? Might as well get it. Went ahead and bought it. And then, played a little bit of it. Thought it was cool. Thought it was decent. Kind of got confused on what I was doing. So I was like, you know what? Gonna take a little break off of the game. Went back to it and the game just recently came out. So I didn't take that much of a break. But I was like, just a mental break. Trying to just, you know, let me build up the mindset of trying to figure things out in that game. So went back to play it. They had it where I had to like go gather up some material. So I'm gathering up the material. I got to like the last two like bits of that material that I needed to collect, and the game crashed. Randomly just crashed. When I got that close to completing the mission, and the game crashed. Now, the last time something like this happened to me was with EA games, and it led to me not ever purchasing a Madden game again. I was like, I will never, under any circumstances, buy another Madden game, because when that whole situation happened, I was noticing the same things with their games. Stuff was bugging out. Stuff was glitching. They have it where I play the Pro Bowl. I literally score the touchdown to win the game. Game froze, sent me back to the main menu, had to start that game all over again. Now, my question is, why would somebody want to experience that with a brand spanking new video game? I'm saying I spent back with that Madden, I think that was like $59.99. Okay, cool, whatever. I spent $69.99 for this Skull and Bones game. And you mean to tell me I can't even get my money's worth? And that's the thing where it's like people be wanting to try to have me reason with that company, or have me reason, you know, with it, because lately I've been ranting about the game Helldivers on TikTok, and people was trying to, you know, have me reason with the company like, oh, this is their first time working on a big major game. And I'm like, okay, well, what's the excuse for all these other companies out here? You see, that's the thing where it's like you got people where they're by themselves working on a game, and they could come out with a game and it's working decent. So I'm saying, for an example, the one game, Spaceborne 2, yeah, that game, it has some issues, but I'm like, there's one person working on that game, and he made sure of it that game was working. At least for me, it was working perfectly fine. Yeah, I'll admit, it has some bugs and glitches at the start, but at least when it came to gameplay was working decent. So that's why I'm like, okay, gameplay is working decent on this game, and there's only one person developing this game. What's the excuse for Ubisoft? What's the excuse for a company that's, it's, you have, Sony publishing your game, talking on Helldivers 2. I'm trying to think of some other games. EA, 2K, all these different companies out here where it's like, it ain't just one, it's so many different people. And that's something where I'm like, I'm confused because I'm like, fam, you guys are making a lot of money. There should be no excuse or reason on why this game comes out and it's not good. Like, or even if it is on some stuff that where, alright, so yeah, let's say it is good, but it doesn't work properly. How am I supposed to be like, oh, okay, well, yeah, that's cool. I'm not going to trip about it. Yeah, I'm not going to be upset over the fact that I spent $70, $50, $60, $40. You know, I'm not going to be upset over the fact that I spent money on this game and I can't even play it. Because the game either wants to crash, not start up, bug out, whatever the glitch, whatever the situation is. And this is something where I'm like, in any example, in any situation, you name it, okay? You know you're going to be upset if you buy a product and that product doesn't work. So I'm like, you want me to reason with these companies? Reason with me. Understand where I'm coming from, where I've been buying Ubisoft games since freaking the Xbox 360 days. I'm saying you guys went from Tom Clancy's Advanced Warfighter 2, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Vegas 1 and 2. What are some other games that they came out with during that time frame? I just was playing this other game during the Xbox 360 era from Tom Clancy, Hawks. What are some other Tom Clancy games? Splinter Cell Conviction. Didn't they come out with some stealth-like games too? You guys came from this good, and I mean good era of games. Talking about Ubisoft, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure there's some other Ubisoft games that I didn't play from back then and stuff that wasn't Tom Clancy games. But I'm saying, you guys came from that era of gaming to having it where when I played the very first Division, they had like this weird matchmaking where I'm going up against enemies I can't even kill. The second Division would crash on PC. Rainbow Six Siege wouldn't even let me join the game, but yet that's their biggest game possible. I'm trying to think, what issues did I have with For Honor? I feel like I had some issues with For Honor there. I feel like there was a legitimate reason on why I haven't played that game. Ghost Recon Wildlands, that game had crashed on me. Nobody played Ghost Recon Breakpoint, so there wasn't even a reason. Yeah, you see some good clips here and there of people playing that game, but those are those people. I'm having my own issues with that. I feel like there was some that I had issues with that game, but I can't remember what it was. But anyways, I'm trying to think of some other Ubisoft games. Avatar, the freaking game. It was like, that game was so buggy and glitchy on PC, it was just unplayable. And then Skull and Bones, that game crashed on me randomly. And I'm supposed to be like, oh, Ubisoft, that's one of the best companies in the world. Like, those are the words that people want me to say. And I'm like, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that about a company where it's like they just pretty much put out a game, hope people like it, and then just, yeah, they're like, oh, just wish on for the best. And I'm like, no, my thing is this. If you guys sign up to be video game developers, right? That's like me signing up to be a content creator, but I'm only, instead of putting together a whole video, I'm only putting together bits and pieces of the video. And I'm like, oh, stay tuned for this second. Yeah, I understand a series, but at least within a series, you're getting a full episode. You're getting a full video. You're not getting parts and pieces of the video, and it's like, oh, as the series goes on, then it's like, oh, then you'll eventually at some point in time get the whole thing. You'll be able to piece it all together. No, stuff don't work like that, bruh. Stuff don't have it where it's like, oh, in order to make bread, you're only gonna get certain ingredients, and then at some point in time, then it's like, yeah, that's for cooking though. But I'm like, with a video game, my thing is this. Is that because if that's the case where it's like, okay, if that's, you know, an evenly matched up example, then it needs to be displayed, okay, on these video games that this isn't a fully, the whole game hasn't been established yet. So you're going to have to wait until whatever time in order for the game to be established. But it's like, yeah, it's like making food and not knowing when the food's going to be done. It just randomly happens one day. That's something where I'm like, nah, bruh, that's not gonna make me want to eat that food. And that's not talking with video games. That's not gonna make me want to play that video game. And I know people gonna probably be all like, you ran about Ubisoft time after time after time, and yet still play their games because they put out this false narrative that this game's good. They'll come out with these trailers and make it seem like you're getting that game in that trailer when you're not. You can look at I'll never forget why there's like a side-by-side comparison of the first division on what they showed at an E3 event versus what they gave us, and I'm like, why do companies like doing that? Why do you guys like switching the games? And it's like, don't get me wrong, the Division 1 was good, but on console, I'm like, I'm afraid to play any. Oh, and then that's another thing with Ubisoft. So when you try signing in to their app on PC, they want to have this thing continuously pop up. And I'm like, have you seen that with Xbox? Have you seen that with EA? Have you seen that with Steam? Have you seen that with Epic Games where it's just this same thing, this box that pops up and it's like, oh, you sure you want it? You sure you want it? I'm like, fam, I'm trying to play a game. I'm not trying to see a box continuously keep popping up. So I'm saying, I'm like, Ubisoft, you guys got a lot, and I mean a lot, to work on. And I know people, because it was with the Helldivers video I did on TikTok. Somebody was like they were asking me, they was like, oh, well, what should they, talking on the Helldivers, they was like, well, what should they do? I'm like, my thing is this, I'm no video game developer. But my thing is like, if I'm working on something, I'm making sure that it is finished and that it is working. That's not too hard to understand. If a person just wants a product that's finished and worked, or it's been worked on and it's finished, bro, because how do you think that would roll in school if you only put together pieces and parts of a test? You're doing a math test and you only answer some of the questions, and then the teacher's like, well, where's the rest of the answers? And it's like, oh, you'll have to stay tuned tomorrow for the rest of the answers. No, you're going to fail that test and you most likely going to get held back. So why is it all of a sudden with a video game is different? Why all of a sudden it's like, this ain't never happened to me before a day in my life when it came to school, when it came to friendships, when it came to relationships, when it came to, I'm trying to think of some other stuff, working. I've never been that person where I'm only going to halfway do something because only half of the work is going to be finished. What's so hard? Why is that so hard to for people to understand that? Why is that so hard for somebody to understand that in order for full work and all this other stuff, in order for a product to hit the shelves, it has to be finished? Do you think my thing, and this was something that I said, and I can't remember if I said in the Helldivers 2 episode, the last episode I did, but I did say in the video where I'm like, do you think Elon Musk would see the day where his Teslas hit the streets, but let's just roll out a little scenario here, right? So you just spent however much money on a Tesla. You went out, you bought yourself a Tesla, you're driving it down the street, you decide to use the auto driving feature, right? So you're like, all right, cool. I'm gonna be, just kick back, relax. I'm just gonna watch this car just auto drive. Next thing you know, this car's like, crashing into the nearest 18-wheeler. You're like, whoa, wait a second, time out. This car takes off doing 80 miles per hour down the road and crashes into the nearest 18-wheeler. Now, you're in the hospital bed, all messed up, banged up, broken bones, fractured skull, the worst of the worst injuries, bruh, but you're still alive. Now, Elon Musk, he said he's flying out, and he's gonna tell you something. He flies all the way out to the hospital that you're at. That man looks you in the face, and he's talking about, well, reason with me. Just stay tuned for the next update for this game. Or not game, but car. Stay tuned for the next update. And at some point in time, the car is going to be fully functional and working. Lawsuit. That's what's going to happen with Elon Musk. $1 million lawsuit. And that man's going to lose. Because I really wish that it was like that with video games. Because you sit down and think about it. Were video games like this back in the day? Did you have it where it's like you couldn't connect to a server, or the game would crash, or all these other? Because I guarantee and I promise you, let's say this is PlayStation 2 era, right? And a new game hits the shelves. Let's say it's Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas hit the shelves, and everybody is experiencing an issue where the game is crashing on them. That will be worldwide news, Rockstar would most likely have to shut down as a company because they probably would not make any money off of the game. And then we would never hear of Rockstar Games. Now, why is it that developers can't have that same mindset? Because I feel like developers nowadays done got way too comfortable with putting out 20% of a game and expecting 100% of our money in return for 20% of a game. I'm telling you, if y'all are cool with that, that's on you. But me, nah, bruh. If I gotta talk about this with every developer possible, so be it. I do not care. But I am sick and tired of paying 100% for a video game and only getting 20% of it in return. Now, early access and all that other stuff, okay, cool. I ain't tripping about that. At least I know that that game is in early access, so it's not going to be fully functional and working. Sometimes I give those games chances, sometimes I don't. If it's too buggy and too glitchy, I'm like, I'll wait until that game fully comes out. And if I play it when it fully comes out and I still have that, maybe it's me. Maybe I suck at games, but not all games. I know for a fact that there is not every game in the world I'm horrible at. I know I gotta be good at something. So I'm saying it's like it's one of those things where I'm like, I feel like I understand with Skull and Bones. I understand the gif of what I'm supposed to do. Is how you say that word, regardless of whatever. But I understand the main objective, the goals, the missions, and all that stuff of what I'm supposed to be doing in that game. But if that game crashes on me, and then they're making it seem like that this is a full game. That's not a full game. If it crashes on me and when I was streaming that game, I only played it for like 15, 20 minutes. Maybe even less. That's not no full game, bruh. No, that's something where I'm like, no, you guys then took my money. I'm like, I want either a fully functional working game or I want my money back. Because that don't make no sense, bruh. So, but anyways, yeah. And that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. Make sure you like and subscribe if you're viewing this on YouTube. Follow or subscribe if you're viewing this off of a podcast streaming service. Thank you guys and peace.